Good morning, folks. It's Thursday the 4th of March. I'm speaking to you from New Zealand in the Southern Hemisphere. And when we're looking at what the weather is doing, we look to the moon and we see what area of the sky it's in first of all. Well, here it is here. It's moved around and it's now in the area of the sky that we call Libra. Now, Libra is quite often known for bringing cool winds. And depending on where you are, that particular sentence is going to translate itself. If you're in winter time, it's going to bring even cooler winds. But in the summertime, it's going to cool things down. That's what's happening where I am. The next day, tomorrow, it's going to be in Scorpio. That's going to be an even cooler sign to be in. So what we do, we look up from the ground and we see the moon. The moon is 3 days past being full, and it has entered the southern hemisphere. So the way that you know that is that you watch it when it rises. You get up on a hill and you look to where you see it rising. It's just rising south of due east, the equatorial line. So it's now in the southern hemisphere, and because it changes hemispheres every 27 days, it does a complete circuit north to south. Weather-wise, that means the temperatures are going to be cooling down if you're in the southern hemisphere. But if you're watching this from the northern hemisphere, it's going to be warming up, because when the moon's in the south, it sends warmer winds from the equator up over the more northern regions. So it's heading out my way. It's heading towards being above my head, which is the southern hemisphere. We also see that it's still fairly big in size, because it's close, and it's not the closest for the month. That's past. That was a few days ago, but it's still fairly close. And when it's closer, it goes faster relative to the Earth. When it goes faster, you get more changeable weather. The weather patterns change over. They don't hang around for too long. So you get a shower quickly coming in and going out again. You get a hot spell not lasting for too long. Well, rain is developing for many centres, many towns in Australia and New Zealand. In New Zealand, the showers are still a couple of days away from the whole country. Ireland won't generally clear till about the 10th for the whole country, and then after that they'll have to wait another 2 weeks for the next completely dry day with widespread dry conditions. We're talking about Ireland up in Ireland, not Ireland, I-R-E land, which is an area that we forecast for. Now, because we're past the full moon and going towards the new moon, it's called a waning moon. It's called waxing when it's going up towards the full moon. So when it's a waning moon, okay, you take that into account when you're doing your gardening. When it's coming up in the sky, as it is at the moment over here, it's going higher and higher each day. We call that an ascending moon, because it's soon going to be right completely over my head, and that'll be the southern point, the southern declination. Well, when it's waning and it's ascending, that's average for farm and gardening activities. It's neither one thing nor the other. It's not a best time for doing anything. It's just an average time. But in the northern hemisphere, it's both waning and it's descending, because it's actually going down a little bit in the sky each day until it reaches the southernmost point. When it's waning and descending, well, that's a really good thing to know if you're a gardener, because this is the best time of the month between now and the 7th in the northern hemisphere to be doing your pruning and spraying of your root systems, because the moon's energies are going downwards, which means if you do your pruning, the branches at the top above the ground are not going to bleed so much. So pruning and spraying of roots to destroy the whole plant, that's good for doing now, between now and the 7th. If you're a fisherman, well, it's only average conditions for fishing at the moment. It's not super hot and it's not terribly bad, but you should get out there around about 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock for the best chances, and that's both AM and PM. And if you're in daylight saving, then you want to go out there 4 o'clock and 10 o'clock. So that's my report for today. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for listening.